Oh, I can't go that way. So perfect. It gives us a perfect angle.
So this is the job center here, where as you can see, there's a lot of people dropping off stuff, picking up stuff. But this is really kind of like a mile or two minimum from ground zero. So we're going down Lake Avenue here towards the Eaton Canyon area, or where the entrance would be to hiking in Eaton Canyon in the San Gabriel Mountains. So that's the job center back there, where one of the drop-off centers, and where people can pick up stuff, or where they can get food, I guess. I saw there was in the parking lot, looked like there was food. We're continuing down Lake, you can see, if you look straight ahead, you can see there was vegetation there on the side of the mountain. It's now looking pretty bare. You can look closely. We're going to see how far we can get coming down Lake Avenue. Before free food and water, there's stations set up along the street here. Free food and water, supplies available. Wow, a lot of people are really on board here. And it looks like this old church is still standing.
I think this is it. Yeah, this is it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this is probably it, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. We're at ground zero. This is as close on the lake as we can get to the mountains. So maybe that church did have some damage, but there's also what's called Christmas Tree Lane, and I didn't hear about. I guess the trees in the houses are okay there. It's a spot where people drive down during the holidays, to look at Christmas lights on a lot of evergreen trees along the street. That's why it's called Christmas Tree Lane. That's literally the name of the street. It's by that church back there. And wow, that's a long distance going to the mountains. So, I put it together in my head. I've been in that area many times. That's a lot of houses. That's a lot of property. Really helps to put things in perspective.
Give out political education. Cause like these people that are just gonna clean, and they're giving out stuff, but no one's talking to people.
That's true. I mean, look, it's just like, let's do our little contribution for charity today. But I don't see a lot of interaction outside. So if we go to Santa Anita Park, the racetrack, there would tend to be more interaction with people there, I would think. You know what I mean?
We'll check that out, right?
Let's check it out, yeah.
Not taking clothes.
Not taking used clothes.
Oh, okay. What?
I don't know what that's about, but
yeah.
Well, here at Santa Anita Park, there's a Santa Anita Mall, as well as the infamous racetrack, or just a huge parking lot for both facilities. And the racetrack, I think it still operates, but I'm not sure. I haven't heard a whole lot about it since COVID, anyway. So we're looking for a place to park so we can go talk to what looks like there's probably thousands of people over there, lots of cars, and people that are dropping stuff off and picking stuff up. And so I guess we'll have to park here in the mall. Here in the big parking lot of the Santa Anita Park, which is the old racetrack. It's over 100 years old. Just see the size of this place. This is the mall, and then back here is the infamous Santa Anita race park, which you might have seen on TV, or you might have seen a movie that was done here a long time ago with the Marx Brothers. It was called Day at the Races, was shot here, and probably some other movies too. But we're gonna go down the other end of the parking lot and talk to some people. Let's see. So we're walking amongst the activity here. You can see there's stuff being donated here. People are picking up things.
Yeah, no worries. We're volunteering. Just if you're actually go that way.
Massive pick up and drop off going on here.
It's a good work by the community, but total failure by the government.
Yeah, I know.
It's a huge failure.
The community is here for people, but some of this work the community should not be doing.
Yeah.
That's why we need a government of action.
To fight for working families.
Yeah, it takes action for the working families in need, and just in the ongoing sustenance of day-to-day life.
Yeah.
You know, it's great that we have this community support, but where's the government?
Yeah.
Where's the state of California? Where's the federal government? This is what government's supposed to be for, you know? So, look at this. I mean, where's the government, right? The people are doing this. But what's the government going to think now? We don't have to do anything because the people are doing it? Is that the thing? Look at the shoes, all the shoes. Holy mackerel. When until you see this, it's like, wow. This is crisis unfolding. I mean, this is failure of the system, big time. We're definitely at the end of the U.S. empire. There's no doubt about that. COVID should have been a sign for people, but now, you know, Los Angeles has become the first big example. And you know, Ishmael, what this tells me is that this is stuff that people had lying around their houses that they weren't using. That's what this tells me. And imagine, you know, the wealth that's in this country, and people, and the hoarding and the stuff that people...
Water, they want water!
That people weren't even using, right? And look, here it is. Now they get it out of their house, you know. And but we need a government that's gonna be much more responsive.
So sorry.
You know, because sooner or later they're gonna find a way to impact everyone directly. But what they did in Los Angeles was they took one major step, you know, to alienate, you know, thousands more people, maybe millions more people. Yeah, and I think it's going to backfire because they can't keep carrying on like they've been doing. So what is this? They have people taking photos for family photos? Or what that is? Wow. Unbelievable. You know, sometimes, you know, you don't have the words. You can just like, this is why we, yeah, and this is why we treat it like a blog where we can talk about things and you know, and there is something to be said about, you know, being something more than just a natural disaster. I mean, something else is going on here. I mean, why were there no fires in this area here? Doesn't look like there's been any fires here. You know, I've seen this area many times in years that I've lived here. And why is it only certain areas had fires? Why is it that certain buildings, certain houses were burned, and then others, maybe even in some cases next door to others, untouched? And it's not just because of the materials being less flammable or whatever. It's something just doesn't seem right. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but you know,
Connecting the dots is usually makes you arrive to a certain conclusion that you don't really want to arrive to, because sometimes it's like, are they really that just evil?
Yeah.
Like bringing down certain areas and making sure others were protected because of the class they represent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or also we'll see when the FEMA funds do eventually come, if they come, you know, who's going to get them first?
Oh, you see the wealth.
Yeah.
The wealth will be affected.
Exactly.
The ones that actually were their fire insurance was honored and it wasn't canceled.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll find out how many people, you know, lost their fire insurance, you know, before this event. River Arena. Don't know who this group is. They're bringing.
Well coordinated.
Yeah, they're definitely well coordinated. They're used to doing these kinds of things. Let me see if I can talk to somebody here. Hi. Who is the River?
It's a church in Anaheim.
Oh, okay.
It's in Anaheim?
Yeah.
What kind of group?
It's like. Can you repeat that?
What kind of group? Like you said, a church. Like what kind of?
A church group?
Yeah, it's a church.
A church group. Oh, awesome.
What
Awesome.
denomination?
Christian.
No,
Christian?
but like, what, evangelical?
Evangelical.
Evangelical? Oh. So you're coming here to bring food or
Food.
food?
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you for
Wow.
what you're doing.
Yeah. So I saw their vehicle on the street or something, right?
Oh,
They're-
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're coming from Anaheim, Orange County again,
Yeah.
which is another very wealthy county here in California, between San Diego County and Los Angeles County here in the Southland. And so you see there's some people taking some stuff there. No, I'm just blown away. What's your reaction looking at all this, Ishmael?
Well, first of all, people are well organized, but they're not, I guess, they're not demanding that much of the government, because if they're able to coordinate to be able to do this for the community, why are they not able to coordinate to demand from the government to be doing this job? Like, and my conclusion is that now it varies on the amount of people that are able to organize themselves, because either their job does not allow them to, or they're not, or their income or may depend on not them organizing. How you doing, sir? You know, it's making us I guess in the bright side, making us more together, but making it seem like we don't need the government, which is definitely not a good idea to come out of this, because it's gonna push the idea that more free markets should be allowed, because like, oh, the government is off, the hands are off, so the free market should be able to step in and through charity do things like this, but still having and most of those products will be like off things that they could write off from the government, and it's a topic that branches out and connects to a lot of other things that are also connected. Let's say, the free market is basically the ideology that the government should not get involved in public affairs, and everything should be handled by the market. Of basically saying all private firefighters, private police forces, private anything social that we consider social services should be privatized, like the fire
Exactly.
and rescue organizations and
Exactly.
Catastrophe control organizations where they're here to clean up. When we were going to the job center, we saw a lot of organizations doing cleanup instead of actually being government employees that would have to come in and clean up the debris, sanitation, the tree control, and that also those jobs that could be paid, create jobs to help people that aren't employed, that they could have that job to clean up the area. It creates more jobs, but instead they're just allowing the people to do it on their own, basically in a government free situation.
Exactly. So there's just a lot of education that needs. It's just, like I say, I don't have the words sometimes. I just know that there's a lot of education that needs to happen, so that people really see the importance of government, because they can say there's, limited government, like the libertarians believe in limited government, and that might seem fine and good on the surface, but when you do have a crisis, limited government is not good, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is proof of what the belief of limited government it obviously shows that when the community has to come out, dig into their closets and find this kind of stuff to share with their other citizens, that's not a good government, because it's a limited government. This is not, what a government should be, right?
Yeah.
So if you think limited government is so great because the free market works so well, look at this. This isn't free market. This is people.
And then would you guys like a burrito?
Oh, no, thank
Yeah,
you.
me too. Okay.
Thank you very much. So it's, proof. I mean, what more proof do you need?
It's leaving the church to do its job. Like right here, we have a church group that came to deliver aid, but it's also not addressing the issue. It's just like I said, it's a charity. It's charity without political education. It's not. I already said. Well, it's charity, but it doesn't. It leaves you at a dead end.
Exactly.
You just have you just get awarded resources. Like right here, with all these resources, like people are just going through. But if there was an actual organized government, they would collect everything that's not being used and probably coordinate with the other areas that would need the extra materials that are needed.
Exactly.
Like, so other places might run out of things, but since there's no coordinated effort, some areas might have more than others. Like
That's right.
When we're going up Lake Avenue, there was people giving out free supplies, but since they weren't coordinated with someone else, not a lot of people knew to go to that area. And even though they were doing something good out of their heart, they weren't really being effective. And it was like, it would have to, the people that are in need aren't gonna think of going to that area where there's no people that are, where good-hearted people are willing to do something. But if the people that need the help aren't going in that direction, it's taking away day hours from the person, and it's taking away responsibility from the government.
And one of the things I wonder too is that all these people that are here, I mean, how would you, let's say, track anything of
who really needs what, who really lost their home, who really is in need, and what about other people that are in need that might be homeless or might be living in their car, but they work and they dress nice, and they're just here to kind of get some new clothes, or maybe they don't have a big budget for food and they're just coming to get some food. And how would you even track stuff like that? You know what I mean? And that's something that the government should be doing, or at least coordinating. But this is obviously like free for all, and it's like, you know, like an honor system. Like, you know, it's assumed that you've lost your home, or and they just come here and take whatever you want, just as much as whatever you would need. How would that even be tracked? You know what I mean? That's one thing I would ask, and that's one of the things that the government could be doing, is developing a system that when there are these circumstances where the government can't, let's say, which is still unacceptable, where they can't get to areas in enough time, you know, how can they coordinate with community groups to be able to make those determinations so that the stuff that's here would be guaranteed to get to people that actually are in need of it, but not even necessarily because they lost their home. Maybe they're just a homeless person, or you know, they've been on the streets for a long time. Maybe it had nothing to do with the fire. You know, maybe they just live in poverty and then they need food, and they see an opportunity to get some free food because they don't have enough food stamps or SNAP. Yeah. You know, and this is kind of supplementing their needs. Yeah, I mean, who's who? And you know, nobody's going to, you know, probably talk to us about where they are in that. I mean, we're open to it. I mean, so with people walking by, they obviously hear us talking. I've got a few looks from people, but most people are focused on, you know, either dropping off or coming in here and going through stuff and see what they can find. Like it's, you know, a Saturday afternoon at Target or Marshall's or Ross, you know, or Macy's or whatever. But instead of having to pull out their wallet, they can just take it for free. So, you know, and even the mainstream media, when they come out here and they talk to people, they're not, they're not asking any questions other than the humanitarian ones. You know what I mean? So, that's a very interesting analysis, like how, other than asking people, because, you know, some people might be embarrassed, like, you know, they don't want to talk about losing their home, or they're focused on just, you know, getting stuff that they need, and they want to get back home and, you know, get started over again somehow, which is going to be a long process.
That's your true contribution. Burgers and how many Water! Let's go take this water! I gotta bring something for water transfer to the other spot. Is there any like dollies or anything? I think they just went out. They have it over there.
Everybody need a bag! Water! Volunteers! Excuse me. You need more cases of water, you carry too far for you.
One volunteer, if they could come and help direct traffic right here to a Dr. Pepper booth, please. Once again, just one volunteer to help direct traffic. Thank you.
Sheer volume. I just.
So,
Hi.
hot food and pasta.
I don't have the words. So I'm just gonna let the visuals kind of tell the story. Oh, and here's a library. Oh my gosh. Pencils, look at pencils and pens and erasers, school supplies. Oh my gosh. Coloring books. Holy mackerel.
Is there a communist manifesto?
Yeah, right. There's a cake Bible. Whatever that is. I guess it's a cookbook. I don't know. David Lynch catching the big fish.
It's funny because toys, there's toys over there, but then it's starting to really come in right here. I love it.
Wow.
Because it's all in one location. Yeah. Versus over there, because it's a bit more little tub to go around. But here's the best spot.
There is the prayer tent.
We're here for anybody who needs any prayer.
Well, everybody needs prayer,
Absolutely.
right? But we also need a government of action that fights for working families. And, you know, where's the government?
I'm not here for that. I'm just here to help.
Yeah.
So we're walking down the donation in the San Gabriel Park place, and we ran into two members of the RCP, the Revolutionary Communist Party, two old members of it, and they saw our palm cards. They saw the American flags, and they were saying like what they immediately brought up bombs, the flag being used on the bombs that get dropped on people all over the world. And then I told them, like, basically we're here to tell the American people that they need a government of action to be able to handle situations like this. Like right here, as we mentioned earlier, as we have observed, this is the free market in action. Basically, we have doctored private companies and private people doing the job of the government, basically leaving everything for the people to do. But the RCP members, they were just interested. They said that I told them that most Americans, when they see the American flag, they relate to it because they consider themselves American. And one of the members of the RCP, they said that's a problem, which is very problematic because you're basically telling the people that when they brought up the thing about bombs being dropped on other people, but has the U.S. flag supposedly stamped on them. Because like basically when you tell those people like your flag means murder, they're associating themselves with the flag, so you're basically telling them that they're murderers, and they're here in not the best circumstances. People really need help, and their government is failing, and the RCP is here to tell them like your government, well, in a way, telling that the government, they shouldn't have a U.S. government, basically telling that they should be left up to the wolves, to the free market, basically.
Yeah, and I asked them about the whole free market thing, you know, and this free market, you know, has created this, and they basically just like shook their heads and walked away from me. They weren't friendly at all. Didn't want to talk about the actual source of the problem, which they think they've identified because of the bombs. Which, yeah, but what is the real source of the bombs? You know, it's the oligarchy, the relationships of different entities that control the government. You know, and that keep feeding us this line that the free market works, and we're showing you right here, this is why the free market doesn't work. So this is not what community should be about. Community should be linked to every aspect of the community, which could be even the government, because whether you like it or not, you got a local government, you got a state government, you got a national government. Don't you want that to be the best it can be instead of the worst that it is? You know what I mean? And there's no conversation. It's like they don't understand that that's not how we can transition into a better system. You know, we don't want the whole thing to collapse. This is an example of why we don't want the whole thing to collapse.
We're leaving the food area of the donation place for the people that are in need.
The makeshift department store.
Department store for people in need. We're about to head to the mall, try to get some food. Like I was mentioning before, like if this was a festival and it wasn't for people that were in need, I would definitely take the food because it's a festive situation and I'm here to be joyous with the people. But right now, all the food is being focused on people that do really need it. And without a government of action that fights for working families that would be able to keep track of the food and everything else, there might be people that come later on and there might not, since it was a free-for-all, nobody was being monitored or who does really need it. There's gonna be people that might not need it that are getting some of the food.
That's true.
Like ourselves, we're not taking some of it because, like I mentioned in the video, we're not in need at the moment. Fortunately, we weren't personally affected as bad. Like some of the climate, but our homes weren't touched like that, and we're not in dire need that we need to take away resources from people that really need it.
Exactly, and to be continued.
YMCA distribution.
The YMCA here is set up here at Pasadena City College. Interesting. We're now here at the Pasadena Convention Center, also where the Civic Auditorium is, where I worked on America's Got Talent for a couple days, and it looks like the fire department is also involved here. Looks like people are in line waiting for some services. Let's see if we can overhear some conversations here. Hi. So, okay, I think what this is, they're coordinating based on what people's needs are. So if they need a lot of different supplies, then they're being directed to Santa Anita Park, racetrack. So I guess this is where people are just coming to figure out, because they've seen this on TV probably, so they're coming here just to kind of sort it out based on what they need. Because some people might just need clothing and food. Some people might need more than that. Because this is the place that people would come if they need a place to stay. So here's the World Central Kitchen. And who are they, Ishmael?
They're a food organization. They mainly became viral because some of their food aids were targeted in Israel and in occupied Palestine and Gaza. And the only thing that the leadership would say that they denounced the attack, but they would never condemn Israel for actually doing it. And 5 of their World Central Kitchen members were assassinated by Israel so far.
Wow.
And its leader received a medal of I think a character medal by Biden going out recently. So it's great that that the organization is doing great work right here. But it's kind of like hypocritical in a way because they're not really with the Gazan people. They're not really doing the same amount that they could be doing here.
Exactly. And with the World Central Kitchen they obviously do work around the world, and they're here today as well with food distribution. And this is basically where Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were standing here yesterday, or I guess working with the WCK. And so let's see if we can run into anybody over here that might be interested in talking to us. And there have been 800 to 1,000 or more people that have been staying here in the convention center, mostly on this side. This is the biggest section, but it's the Civic Auditorium there, and then that's the other side of the convention. So they've had 800, I think, up to even 1,200 people staying here. the last few days. So, and boy, wouldn't you like to get a massage? But you know, there's people that need it more than I do. You know, so.
Maybe not all at once.
To take the picture of.
So this is it's food-based, and it's Los Angeles at plantbasedtreaty.com.
That works on promoting sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a grassroots organization. This is the Instagram page. And then you can also email if you need any more information.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. No lines.
Yeah, to drop
Oh
off.
yeah,
those are the
someone handed us
drop-offs?
those flyers earlier to make sure other people knew that if they needed stuff, things, items, they can go to those places too.
Oh, fantastic. And we're seeing...
Again, just sharing stuff that's, for
Yeah.
people.
Thank you very much.
And that is a little bit of what Ishmael and I experienced one day, primarily going through different locations in Pasadena, but there were some in Arcadia and also some that borderlined Altadena, where the Eaton fire was, as far as residential neighborhoods. And we got as close as we could get, to that. Obviously, they don't want people going in there because they're having a little problem with looters, and the obvious. It is, it's a total devastation in many cases of one home after another, street after street, in the Altadena community. And there's even more. I mean, you saw a little bit, but there's even more places here and there, sometimes people's homes and their front yards, different groups gathering donations of various kinds to make them available for those in need. I was at a Quaker house also today as I'm recording this, and heard some emotional stories of some people who had lost their homes. I heard a story of someone who had not lost their home, but one of their best friends did, and it looks that people are in the initial stages in the grieving process. Which when you lose something, there is that process, and then people are focused on sustenance and having their needs met, and that kind of thing, shelter and food, clothing, and taking little steps towards rebuilding their lives. And that's where a lot of people are. But we still feel the need to be there to talk to those who we can talk to. And there has been some. One person from New York had heard of CPI, and Caleb Maupin was a familiar name to them. So little by little, we can reach people, and we can educate and share that information with you, and you can share that with others as well. So the story continues, and wherever you are, peace now.